All right, I'm very excited. So in the last few months, I've finally identified what wave I want, which is awesome. But like you promised, once that happened and I came into alignment, a lot of crazy stuff started happening. Some stuff was awesome and I liked it. Some stuff, less awesome. But what I figured out is what I really want to do is bring these concepts and teach them to younger people. I used to be a high school teacher, and I'd really like to begin to do this. I really see my vision as traveling around the country and participating in this. I want to know how to get clarity, how to do that the best, like what would make my heart sing the most.
Do you remember being a high school teacher?
Yes, it was 4 months ago.
Do you remember being a high school student?
I do.
And do you remember how you felt predominantly then?
Yes.
Did it feel to you as a high school student, we know there's a range of time in there and that there are many variables, did it feel to you that during that time you were more frequently on your high-flying disc?
Absolutely not.
Say again?
I was not when I was in high school.
And what did you see around you?
I was taught a lot about separation, a lot of competition.
So did you find that, of course, law of attraction would bring those around you who felt like you felt? That's a sort of...
Right.
So this question is a little bit tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But would you say that, do you remember your earlier years?
Yes.
Do you have any recollection of before the separation was taught so well?
I do.
You remember feeling carefree?
I do.
Do you think that a person so would you say that whatever age you are, whether you are now a teenager or a college student or whether you are retired or getting ready to make your transition, would you say that anywhere in the age spectrum that you still most likely had a time before you were taught separation?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that the more time that goes by, the more difficult it is to remember that?
I think it can be difficult for some people.
Do you think that an activation of that feeling would make it rememberable at any age?
Yes, absolutely.
So, do you think that during that time of separation that there is any benefit in the predominantly step one characteristic of your life experience? In other words, step one, that's the time that you're doing more asking. That's when contrast is causing you to ask for more. Do you think there's benefit in that time in your life?
I think there's immense benefit.
So, do you think that it's urgent that you swoop in, and save them from their separation? Or do you think that their own life experience will eventually bring them to the place of asking, and that when they do, no matter what the age, they can come into alignment?
I think that the information is definitely there for those who are seeking it. I found when I was in the classroom that people were seeking it from me, and I enjoyed that conversation.
We're not trying to guide you toward or away from anything.
Yeah.
We just want to activate some things within you.
Right.
And these questions are being offered in order to get you to focus and activate what we know you already know.
Right.
But just because you know something, you can have known something and it not be active in you right now.
Yeah.
That's something worth thinking about. Just as everyone knew their worthiness at one time, and it's not necessarily active in them right now. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew coming into this physical experience their potential for success on whatever they choose, but
Right.
that's not necessarily active within them right now.
Right.
And so in the same way that you as a teacher will be activating within others beneficial things, we are activating within you through this series of questions. In other words, we're demonstrating to you the way we would teach if we were standing in your physical shoes. Because what you're going to discover is that no student is standing in exactly the same place. And since words don't teach, you have to find some way of getting them early on to find something that they can relate to and test out on their own. We think it's a wonderful thing. There cannot be enough people who are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and deliberately creating their own reality. And no one needs someone to demonstrate it for them, but it makes it a lot easier. We said already several times today that words don't teach, that it is life experience that teaches. But when you're living life and someone is making sense of what you're living, by expressing universal principles that are evident everywhere, that have no contrary vibration, in other words, not a shred of evidence to the contrary of any of this, then they can find alignment faster. So, do you think there's benefit in being in alignment?
Absolutely.
Do you think that there is any downside to being mostly in alignment?
No.
We think you should tell everyone you can get to listen.
Thanks.
Yeah.